uncomfortable one. Your best page can sit on page 1 of Google and still not exist as far as ChatGPT is concerned. And every month, more of your buyers ask an AI engine before they ever touch a search box. For most of us, that blind spot has been a shrug. There was no number on it, so it wasn't anyone's job. You couldn't see it in a rank tracker, you couldn't put it in a report, so the whole channel just sat there unmeasured while the traffic quietly moved. Well, it has a number now. I run organic growth for a living. 4 years inside a B2B software company, now my own niche content studio, 30+ search tools tested this year. I'm Nadia. This is Frase, the content platform that rebuilt itself in January around exactly that problem. It scores every page twice, once for Google, once for whether the AI engines will actually cite you. In the next few minutes, you'll see the double scoring, the watchdog that catches decaying pages on its own, and the tracker that tells you which AI answers mention your brand, with receipts. And I'm not skipping the flaws. The writer that ignores the keywords you marked as required, the optimization scores you shouldn't trust until you check what got imported, and the autopilot fix mode I would not point at a client's site. 3 real wins, 3 real catches. Let's get into it. Start with the part that actually changed this year. I pointed Frase at one of the biggest marketing sites on the internet and ran a single-page audit, and this scorecard is what came back. Look at the strip across the top. The classic grade, the Google one, comes in at 63. Perfectly decent. Now look at the pink tile on the right. AI visibility, 19. Same page, same content, same day. One scoreboard says you're fine, the other says the AI engines barely know you exist. And the health view takes that second grade apart for you. The dial here reads 44 across the sampled pages, and it names the one piece dragging it down, structure. From a search intent angle, that's the first time one tool has graded both surfaces for me, side by side, on the same screen. Not as an add-on you pay extra for, but as the default read on every single page it touches. 1 page, 2 grades. That's the whole pitch. Google on one rail, 8 AI engines on the other, and the distance between your 2 numbers is your work list for the quarter. Most tools in this category still only see the first rail. They'll tune a page for a results layout fewer people read every month. Next up is the part that runs while you sleep. Frase calls this one the forensic auditor, and it's the job every other tool in the lane makes you do by hand. You point it at a domain and it just goes, crawling the pages, watching for content decay, the slow ranking slide nobody notices until the traffic's already gone. No calendar reminder, no quarterly cleanup sprint, no intern with a spreadsheet. It's just watching, all the time, across every page you've told it to care about. And when it finishes, you don't get a report you have to interpret. You get a queue. 7 issues found, ranked by impact, with the payoff priced at 27 points of upside if you clear the whole list. Surfer's version of this is a manual pass you have to remember to run. ClearScope watches, but it won't queue the fixes. Nobody else in the category ships the entire loop, and the loop matters more than the crawl. Publish, monitor, flag the decay, diagnose, queue the fix, with one human gate before anything touches a live page. That gate is doing more work than it looks like. Hold on to it. It comes back when we hit the catches. The third win is the receipts. You register the actual buying questions you care about, and Frase tracks how the AI engines answer them, engine by engine. This workspace follows best SEO software, a question worth real money to anyone in this market, and the status column is blunt about it, not visible. No spin, no maybe, just the fact. That's the honest baseline most brands are starting from, and most teams have never seen it written down. Drill into the prompt and the per-engine answers are right there, word for word. Open a single citation and it gets granular. Which engine answered, on what date, what the tone was, and how prominently the brand showed up in the answer. This one scored 100 out of 100, mentioned early and clearly. The person who wins here is whoever stops guessing first. You're not debating whether AI search matters for your brand anymore. You're reading the answer off a table. So what does that second grade actually reward? 4 things, and they're all writing habits. Statements clean enough to quote, structure a machine can parse, plain this is that definitions, and a takeaway block. Nothing exotic, nothing you'd need a developer for. A good editor could fix all 4 by Friday. Which is exactly why the catches matter. The writing still has to be yours. First catch, and it's the one that costs real hours. The built-in writer takes your brief and streams out a draft that looks finished. Full sections, clean headings, the whole shape of a publishable article. The problem is the word required. Mark 5 terms as must include. The ones your topical coverage actually hangs on. The ones that were the whole point of the brief. And the draft routinely comes back missing half of them. That's not a rumor. It's a documented complaint from paying users, and it matches what I've seen in my own testing. The draft reads beautifully and quietly skips the assignment. So budget 30 to 45 minutes per article to walk the draft and put back what it skipped. Treat the writer as a first draft machine, never a publish button. Do that, and the time it saves you is still very real. You're editing instead of staring at a blank page. None of these are walk-away problems, to be clear. They're the things you want named honestly before you wire a tool into your week, because each one has a cheap defense once you know it's there. The second one is sneakier. It doesn't waste your time. It quietly miscalibrates your decisions. When you optimize an existing page, the score leans on this. A poll of the live results for your query, 18 of them behind one keyword, each one read and weighed. The catch is that the import on your side isn't always complete. It can grab half your article and score the half it grabbed, or line you up against pages that aren't really your competition, and then the number drifts by 15, 25 points in either direction. You end up rewriting a page that was fine, or trusting a green light you never earned. And on a client report, either one is a credibility problem you handed yourself. The honest fix is a 30-second check. Confirm the whole article made it in. Questions, headings, all of it. Eyeball the competitor list against a real search, and only then trust the score. Verified, it's a genuinely useful read on where you stand. Unverified, it's a coin flip wearing a number. Which brings up the third catch, and this one's less about your time and more about trust with someone else's property. Remember the human gate I told you to hold onto a few minutes ago? Here's where it stops being a nice to have and becomes the rule. The watchdog has an autonomous mode. Flip it on, and it will ship its own fixes straight to a live page with nobody reading them first. On your own blog? Maybe that's fine. On a client's site? That's how you end up explaining edits no one approved. The queue itself is the good part. Look at it. 7 fixes, prioritized by severity, a 37-point uplift mapped out across the list, and page by page it gets even more granular. Every finding sits behind its own button, each one waiting for a person to read it and press it, which is exactly the shape you want. What you actually do is run detection and diagnosis only, and keep every single fix behind a review step a human clears. Run it that way and the feature earns its keep. 3 catches, all of them survivable with a process. Let me build one brief end to end so you can feel what the day-to-day is actually like. My topic is keyword research, a head term with over 300,000 searches a month, and I want something a writer can run with by lunch. The wizard opens on the only question that really matters. What do you want to rank for? Topic, goal, audience, confirm. 4 steps, maybe 2 minutes of typing, and then the agent goes off and does the digging on its own while you do literally anything else. It comes back with the keyword set already scored. Difficulty 18, low competition. The kind of read you'd normally spend an afternoon assembling by hand. Now I pin the 4 worth targeting. Watch the counter flip. 4 pinned, 3 to 6 recommended. The research is done, and I haven't opened a spreadsheet. A few minutes later, the brief's just sitting there waiting. Title drafted, audience pinned down. Marketing managers with a target length of 1,400 words. Open it up, and this is the part that genuinely sold me. A core argument, written out in full, what the reader wants, what makes the piece different, and a complete outline with word counts per heading. That's not a keyword dump, and it's not a list of headings scraped off whoever ranks. That's the document you use to spend 2 or 3 hours assembling, and it arrives already structured like an argument instead of a checklist. So where's the learning curve? Honestly, it isn't in the driving. The wizard structures everything. My first end-to-end run took about 15 minutes, and most of that was reading, not clicking. The real skill is in the pinning. Knowing which keywords, which evidence, which questions deserve to shape the piece, because the agent will happily build on whatever you choose. The flow you'd actually build here is research in the morning, pin over coffee, hand the brief to whoever writes, and suddenly brief building stops being the bottleneck in your content week. The tool carries the structure, your judgment carries the quality, and nothing here replaces that part. Quick pause, because this is the natural point to go try it yourself. If you already know you want this on your own pages, the link is waiting in the description. stackinspectors.com/Frase. Sign up for the 7-day trial through the link, no card, and build one brief on a page you actually care about before you pay for anything. Run the audit while you're in there too. Seeing your own 2 numbers side by side on your own domain beats any review, including this one. And stick around because the plan question is where people quietly overpay. 3 plans, decision shortcut style. Starter? That's built for the solo publisher. 1 domain, 1 seat, 10 pieces a month. And for that shape, it's genuinely the whole product, not a teaser tier. Professional? The 40 article, 5 domain shape with 3 seats in the box. Built for a working content team with real client volume. And scale? Only when the domain count forces your hand. Past 5 active sites, it's usually an agency thing, and the domain cap gets you there before the article cap ever does. One quiet catch. Extra seats run $29 each past what's included, so a 5-person team on the middle plan pays more than 50% over the sticker price every single month. Their pricing page says it plainly. Nobody's hiding it. But read the seat line before you commit annual, because annual is paid up front and it doesn't refund. Now the honest map, because this isn't the only sane buy in the category, and pretending otherwise would waste your money. 3 real alternatives, 3 different jobs. Match the tool to the job in front of you. The wrong one at a better price still costs you the quarter. If your writers live inside the optimizer all day, polishing 1 page at a time, Surfer is that lane. The longest track record on the scoring side, and a real-time editor this tool honestly doesn't match. It runs about 2.3 times the entry price here, and for that 1 daily habit, it's worth every dollar. ClearScope is the enterprise editorial pick. Letter grades a whole review team can align on, unlimited seats on every plan, at nearly twice the mid-tier money. And Neuron Writer is the price floor. Briefs, scoring, a writer, essentially where this product stood before the January rebuild, for the same entry money, with no AI visibility layer at all. One more honest line. On tiny queries, under about 1,000 searches a month, the live results get shallow and contaminated, so the poll goes thin and the suggestions drift off topic. Down there, a hand-built brief is still faster, and no tool in this category changes that yet. So who actually buys this? Here's the tell. The decision is how many sites you feed it, not the feature list. Most content teams land in the same place, and that's professional. One exception worth naming. If you publish solo, 1 domain under 10 pieces a month, Starter is the entire product for you, so don't pay up for headroom you'll never touch. Everything else, the grid on screen sorts you in about 5 seconds. If you're the solo publisher, or if you're the content team running real client volume, the description has the link, stackinspectors.com/phrase. The link's where you start the 7-day trial. No card needed. And a week is more than enough to know either way. Point it at a domain you own, run one audit, and read what the second score says about you. Because that number is the whole conversation now, and you'd rather meet it before your competitors do. That part isn't optional anymore. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.